Defense Services Staff College, Wellington, long back in 1992, I think.
Yeah, 92, yeah.
Yes. And whatever learnings I have had,
Great.
Sir, it's 4 o'clock. With your permission, sir, Admiral, sir, may I start?
Please, go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
You could ask everybody to mute themselves, otherwise
I
we'll
will
be
do that, sir.
disturbing.
I will do that. My request to everyone, please keep your mics muted. You may keep your videos on for some time, but later, except the invited guests, others are requested to mute their videos also. With that, let me commence today's evening program. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm Dr. Srinivasan. I'm the founder director of Praghna Centre for Research. It's my privilege today to welcome Admiral Muralidharan, our chief guest, Commodore Vasan, our guest of honor, Commodore Deshmukh, Professor Dr. Ashok Dua, Professor Alan John, Professor Jayachandra Reddy, Commander J.K. Nair, Mrs. Chitra Srinivasan, Mr. Narayanan, CFA, our Chartered Accountants for Praghna, Mr. Vasudevan, GV Associates, Company Secretary for Praghna, distinguished professors and members of the audience, and our dear interns and their parents who have joined this evening. Thank you for joining us. Defense Research and Studies and Praghna Centre for Research have a common vision. We wish to inculcate scientific thinking among young students and emerging scholars. We want to foster substantial research in social sciences and strategic studies. More importantly, we want to publish such research so as to make it reach out to the larger academic community and the research fraternity. We strongly believe that it is only through knowledge, through empowerment results, and that India, especially being poised to become a dominant power in the international arena, needs to stand on firm foundations of such knowledge. We are observing our first anniversary of the research writing program that we embarked upon together, that is DRaS and Praghna together, in July 2021 today. I now call upon Commander J.K. Nair, Founder Director of Defense Research and Studies, to present the highlights of the research writing program and release the first anniversary report. Commander J.K. Nair, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Group Captain Dr. Srinivas. Good evening, respected audience. May we start the proceedings by thanking Admiral Muralidharan and Commodore Vasan for joining us to bless this occasion. We would also love to thank Professor Reddy and Professor Alan for joining us this evening. In behalf of Defense Research and Studies and Praghna Centre for Research, may I have the honor to give an introduction and a brief report on DRaS Praghna internship program. The idea of this research program was earlier conceived by Group Captain Dr. Srinivasan last year. Later, he shared his vision with us, and together we could conceptualize and roll out this unique program. When Commodore Deshmukh and Professor Dr. Ashok Dua seconded this initiative and volunteered to take up the challenges as mentors, we got the confidence of starting this program without much delay. We all know that in India, our students rank low in research and innovation skills compared to the West and the Chinese. So this is the best time for us to start guiding our younger generation on research and research writing. This program is a non-profitable initiative. It is well focused on quality rather than quantity. The fees charged to the students are also discounted. The objective of this program is to foster a spirit in scientific research among the student community. Our program facilitates independent research efforts by interns into their area of interest The research article produced by the students are published in both EJSSS journal as well as on DRaS web platform. The article writing program is basically for 5 weeks, whereas a research article writing program may go up to 9 weeks or even more. Let me give a big salute to our veteran mentors, Dr. Srinivasan, Commodore Deshmukh, and Dr. Ashok Dua. Without their support, this program would not have taken off. Last year, we could enroll a total of 21 students, out of which 9 interns completed their program successfully. They could generate a total of 9 papers last year, and the same has been compiled in the form of a book volume for circulation and publishing. We have 3 research papers, 1 book review, and 5 articles total in our book volume. Certification of these students is jointly done by DRaS and Praghna Centre. Indeed, it is a moment of pride for all of us, and let us congratulate our first batch of young student researchers and would appeal them to come up with more and more research papers in the future. We also urge our mentorship team to continue the good work. We hope in the coming years, we'll be able to accommodate more students and interns for this program. Apart research writing program, we are also planning to start research guidance programs in the coming years. We'll also identify the areas of domain expertise and provide research support to the students under various disciplines on a freelance mode. Overseas collaboration is also being explored for expanding the internship initiative. We are looking forward to have joint programs with native universities and academia in the coming year. Finally, let me congratulate all my students and mentors for this wonderful achievement. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Over to Dr. Srinivasan. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commander JK. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my privilege to introduce our chief guest and invite him to deliver his special address. Our chief guest today is Admiral MP Muralidharan, Ati Visish Seva Medal and Bar, Nav Sena Medal. Admiral Muralidharan is an alumnus of National Defence Academy and a postgraduate in Defence Studies. In a career of close to 4 decades in the Indian Navy, he has held several key appointments such as command of 3 warships, including the guided missile destroyer Ran Vijay, Naval Assistant to the Chief of the Naval Staff, and Naval Attaché at the Embassy of India, Moscow. As a flag officer, he has held the operational appointment of Maharashtra and Gujarat Naval Area, Commandant of the Indian Naval Academy, and was the Chief of Personnel of the Navy prior to taking over as the 19th Director General of the Indian Coast Guard, from where he retired in February 2013. Post-retirement, the Admiral was appointed as a member of the Armed Forces Tribunal at its regional bench at Kochi, an appointment equivalent to a sitting judge of a high court. The Admiral, a keen student of strategic and defense-related issues with special focus on maritime affairs, is a member of various strategic study societies and institutions, and is a regular contributor to professional journals and a speaker at seminars and conferences. The Admiral was awarded the Ati Visish Seva Medal twice by the President of India and is also a recipient of the Nav Sena Medal. It's my privilege to welcome you, sir, for your special address. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Group Captain Srinivasan, for your very generous introduction. Group Captain Dr. Srinivasan and Commander J. Krishnan Nair, distinguished professors, other distinguished dignitaries present here, and my fellow young students and researchers. At the outset, let me congratulate DRaS as well as Praghna on their first anniversary of the research writing program and for organizing this webinar. I'm indeed honored to have been invited to inaugurate the event. It has been accepted from time immemorial that knowledge is power, not merely in making advancements in science and technology or in gaining information about capabilities and intentions of your adversaries, but even in routine day-to-day management of activities. The role played by treatises such as Arthashastra in making ancient Indian kingdoms dominant world powers of their era is well known. Needless to say, knowledge-based approach is even more important to succeed in the modern era. Against this background, the research writing program jointly organized, initiated by DRaS and Praghna, is a laudable initiative towards steering young students to emerge as scholars of eminence. This program, I'm sure, would go a long way in encouraging the coming generations to carry out in-depth study of emerging issues through scientific research and logical analysis. As observed, the research work in the very first year has covered a variety of contemporary subjects. But I do notice that maritime issues have not attracted enough attention. Let me therefore bring in the subject of Indo-Pacific, an issue that has been the focus of world attention for some time now and needs continuous evaluation and study. The 21st century is often spoken of as the century of the seas. Way back in the 19th century, Admiral Mahan, a US naval thinker and historian, had spoken of the Indian Ocean becoming the key to the seven seas in the 21st century. And he went on to say that the destiny of the world would be decided in its waters. However, towards the end of the 20th century, it became apparent that the Indian Ocean cannot be looked at in isolation. The emergence of a multipolar world at the end of the Cold War era and the expanding globalization of trade and commerce, coupled with the growth of Asian economies, which in turn call for their energy and mineral resources from the Arabian Gulf and Africa, and transportation of finished products from their nations to other parts of Asia, Africa, Europe, all resulted in increased shipping between both the oceans. Thus, in the early part of this century, strategists conceived the concept of Asia-Pacific as a region, and the term Indo-Pacific emerged, linking both the oceans into one strategic area or one geo-economic security zone. Now, the Indo-Pacific is a multicultural, multipolar region, accounting for nearly 60% of the world's GDP and 65% of the population. It's also a major repository of marine resources, both living and non-living. The maritime trade and commerce through the region is equally significant. Well, the UN Conference on Trade and Development estimates that roughly 80% of the global trade by volume and 70% by value is transported by the sea. Now, of that, nearly 60% of that trade passes through the Indo-Pacific, with South China Sea alone carrying an estimated 1/3 of the global shipping, and about 64% of China's and 42% of Japan's maritime trade passes through that area. Now, in our country, in our case of India, as you know, bulk of our trade is through sea and amounts to 90% of the trade by volume and 70% by value, estimated by some to be close to $750 billion, of which about 55% of the trade is through the South China Sea. And our share of the trade with ASEAN nations alone is about 12% of our total world trade. So it would be evident that due to the very nature of maritime domain, we cannot look at areas in pockets. You can't say South China Sea, Arabian Sea, or the Bay of Bengal, etc. We need to look at Indo-Pacific as one entity. Now, while you look at various facets of Indo-Pacific, more so from the security angle, one aspect that emerges clearly is the rise of China and its assertive political and military behavior in the Western Pacific and a continued expansion into the Indian Ocean region. Though under the guise of safeguarding their vast economic interests in the Indian Ocean region, the PLA Navy has been making regular forays into the Indian Ocean region for over 2 decades now. And their so-called string of pearls strategy of bases and diplomatic ties from Africa to Middle East and South Asia are all part of her strategy to establish herself as a power in the Indian Ocean region, and therefore we have to look at it as a potent threat in the years ahead. In the Pacific, China's territorial claims in the seas close to where she claims historical ownership over nearly the entire region is a major concern for the world at large. Now, China has also, over the years, mastered the art of salami slicing, or which is gradually bringing in small changes or making incremental gains, each of which by itself may not raise any alarms or may not even be noticed. But when you take it as a whole, it can bring major strategic changes in the long run. In the maritime arena, this is being used to enhance her claims over the island territories in the seas around her. In fact, a policy paper brought out by the Chinese government called the China's National Defense in the New Era in 2019 actually defines as important waters islands and reefs in the East China Sea, the South China Sea, and the Yellow Sea. And on aspects of our maritime rights and interests, including overseas interests, the entire islands in South China Sea, Diaoyu Islands, are stated to be inalienable parts of Chinese territory. Incidentally, China's sweeping claims over sovereignty of the entire area was rejected by an arbitration tribunal of the UNCLOS way back in 2016. But China, however, considers that UNCLOS does not apply, and these are territorial disputes to be settled bilaterally. And of course, it keeps hovering over the smaller nations of that area. Now, PLA Navy today has grown into one of the most potent navies in the world with over 350 units and is expanding. It has got aircraft carriers, major surface combatants like cruisers, destroyers, frigates. There are submarines, amphibious ships, mine warfare ships, and a whole host of artilleries. Now it's modernizing, upgrading, and is emerging as a multi-mission capable force. It is very evident that China is looking to emerge as the preeminent power in the world, or at least in the Indo-Pacific region, enabling it to challenge even the US dominance in the maritime region. Well, here I must bring in that Taiwan is a very, very potential flashpoint, which is very close to us. Now, looking back, if you look at our own history, Indo-Pacific is not anything new to India. Historian Radha Kumud Mukherjee had analyzed India's maritime activities from historic times with civilization that links across the world through trade and commerce in his book called Indian Shipping, a history of seaborne trade and maritime activity of the Indians from the earliest times. It is published in 1912. And he wrote, and I quote, "We have ample evidence to show that for full 30 centuries, India stood out as the very heart of the old world and maintained a position as one of the foremost maritime countries. She had colonies in Pegu, which is in modern-day Myanmar, in Cambodia, Java, Sumatra, Borneo, and even in the countries further east as far as Japan. She had trading settlements in southern China and the Malayan Peninsula, in Arabia, and all the chief cities of Persia and all over the east coast of Africa. She cultivated trade relations not only with countries of Asia, but also with the whole of the then known world, including the countries under the dominion of the Roman Empire. And therefore, both East and West became the theater of Indian commercial activity and gave scope to her naval energy and throbbing international life." So you can see virtually what today we consider Asia Pacific or Indo-Pacific had been looked at by our ancestors in India. It is just that somewhere, I won't delve into that subject, somewhere by about 15th, 16th century, we lost focus on the maritime area, which has allowed all the other European powers to come in and start dominating this area. While the modern India announced a look east policy sometime towards the end of the 20th century, her outlook towards Indo-Pacific gained a major fillip post the Shangri-La dialogue in June 2018. In his address at the event, Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke of the importance of the oceans in Indian thinking since pre-Vedic times and in the Indo-Pacific region for peace and security, as well as for humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. He spoke of opportunities and challenges linking destinies of the nations in the area. He emphasized that India's engagement in the Indo-Pacific from shores of Africa to that of Americas will be inclusive to promote rule-based international order and to work together for the larger good of all nations. Now, on the concept of working together for the common good in Indo-Pacific, we are into two major initiatives today. First being the Quad, or the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, a grouping of democratic nations, as you know, of India, US, Japan, and Australia, virtually geographically at the four corners of the Indo-Pacific. Now, this grouping came into being following the tsunami in 2004, when we combined to provide humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. Now, in 2007, the group met again unofficially on the sidelines of the Asian Regional Forum, based on the initiative put forward by the then Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. And we fondly remember and we pay our respects to him today at the unfortunate events that happened. In fact, he was a man who brought India and Japan closer together and actually brought in the concept of Asia Pacific or Indo-Pacific. The activities that he initiated really brought in this whole area together. Now, after being dormant for a while, in 2017, Quad was revived as Quad 2.0 to develop a collective, free and open, inclusive Indo-Pacific to ensure all the sea lanes of communications in the area are free of influence. The focus has been on keeping the area, the sea lanes threat, removing threats of counter-terrorism, ensuring maritime security and stability so that prosperity of all nations can enhance. It's also worth reiterating that we are the only country in this grouping sharing a land border with China. And we cannot expect any of the others to offer a hand in case of any border skirmishes, as you can see. So while China has been saying all along Quad is against it, all four countries have said that it is not against a particular nation, but to bring in the Indo-Pacific as a region of peace. Now, the next initiative that again India took was the East Asia Summit in November 2019, which we call the Indo-Pacific Oceans Initiative to manage, conserve, and sustain the maritime domain. It is actually creating partnership with like-minded countries across the expanse from eastern shores of Africa to the Western Pacific Ocean to ensure security and stability in the domain through non-treaty based cooperative and collaborative approach. Now, it covers a wide spectrum of issues through its 7 pillars, talks of maritime security, ecology, maritime resources, capacity building and resource sharing, disaster risk reduction management, science, technology, and academic cooperation, trade connectivity, and maritime transport. Now, you would have noticed that many countries, starting with Australia, took the initiative. Many others have come forward to cooperate in these various fields. Well, the emergence of Indo-Pacific as a theater of economic and strategic competition in the 21st century has given us, or India, an opportunity to expand strategic cooperation in the maritime arena. US, Japan, Australia, UK, France, and many other European powers with interest in the region have been looking to India as a partner to safeguard their interests. In order to do so, apart from regular institutionalized dialogues, it is even more important that maritime forces of all concerned nations, either bilaterally or multilaterally, we regularly operate and act in the entire Indo-Pacific region. Only then we'll bring in, interoperability to tackle threats together. And it will also, in my view, we need to have our maritime forces across the entire Indo-Pacific to counter the Chinese presence, which you can see virtually everywhere. And mind you, if you operate in their waters close to them, it's like the old gunboat diplomacy of the 19th century. It's like a threat in being. So he may think twice before he comes in with more activities along the border. or even closed-door shows. Well, let me sum up by saying that the concept of Indo-Pacific has been very aptly put across by our External Affairs Minister Jaishankar in his book, The India Way, and I quote, "The future of Indo-Pacific lies in a complex range of forces interacting on a continuous basis. As with many other facets of international relations today, this too has many open questions. For India, it will be an important element of our relationship with China and her partnership with the West." Unquote. Now you can see what all is covered in this few lines. Now the open questions he talks about are, in my view, an opportunity for think tanks and young research scholars like you all present here to carry out an in-depth study to examine the emerging issues and threats in the region and recommend the way ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. In fact, I think you have given us a substantial homework. Now we'll have to start focusing on this area as Praghna and DRaS, and we'll be happy to do it, sir. And if I may take a little, permission from you, since you mentioned Prime Minister Abe, I think it may be proper that we just observe maybe a 15-second silence to just pay our homage to him, because you have very rightly said that he is the man who's the architect of this concept which we are talking about today, called Quad, and the concept of Indo-Pacific. So saying, I invite the Admiral and all the audience just to observe a 10-second silence in recognition of his great service in putting this concept together, and for his work towards integrating the countries in the Indo-Pacific. Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, audience. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege now to introduce and invite our guest of honor, Commodore R.S. Vasan. Commodore Vasan had a distinguished military service of over 34 years. His shore assignments include command of 2 naval air stations, maritime air squadron, being aircrew examiner, member of the faculty of the College of Naval Warfare, and Chief Staff Officer of the Southern Naval Command at Cochin, India. He commanded a patrol vessel during the IPKF operations, and prior to his retirement, he was the regional commander of the eastern region of the Indian Coast Guard. He also steered the maritime security program at Observer Research Foundation, a major Indian think tank we are all familiar with. He was also the head strategy and security studies of the Center for Asian Studies, Chennai. Joining C3S, Chennai Center for China Studies, in 2017 as the director, his leadership marked the C3S being designated in 2020 as the 122nd among 150 global think tanks, 47th out of 42 independent think tanks globally, and the 33rd among 100 think tanks in China, India, Japan, and the Republic of Korea. It's my privilege to invite Commodore Vasan to deliver his address. Vasan, sir.
Thank you, Group Captain Dr. Chandrasekharan. It's a wonderful opportunity for me to be here, sharing dice with such distinguished people. In case my audio is a little awry, I may be excused because I was not able to reach my home. So I'm right now standing in a metro station. So if you see some metro buzzing past me, so don't be alarmed. It's not running over me. First of all, let me take this opportunity to extend my warmest greetings and congratulations to both the organizations, both DRaS as well as Praghna Research Centre, which is headed by eminent people. Group Captain, we've been touch with you for a long time. And, C3S has been in constant touch with Group Captain Srinivasan. And he's made it a point to help us out in our own research activities. Likewise, I met Commander Jai Shankar, in Rajali, and he was giving me a glimpse of what they are doing. And I'm so happy to note that these two organizations have come together and are helping the researchers, which is the need of the hour. As rightly brought out by Admiral Muralidharan, there are new areas, new horizons to be explored by these researchers. Within the Indo-Pacific, we can choose at least 100 headings under which you can carry out research. So that is the challenge that is available. And so, having been dealing with researchers myself at the Chennai Center for China Studies and having some 76 interns pass out from me, I realize how important and difficult it is to get the young minds to be on the right track when it comes to carrying out proper research. It's very important to set the foundations, and that's where I value the contribution of Group Captain Dr. Srinivasan, Dr. Jayashankar, and my own long-standing colleague Commodore Deshmukh, who's also joined you, Commander Duva, and various other academicians. And what I see as a positive point is that many of the people who are here today have been the practitioners of the art. They all have been either in the Navy or in the Army or in a scientific establishment, and they have come out and they have acquired an academic qualification. It's not easy, but it is excellent for the researchers because here you have a combination of the practitioner of the art who's now become an academic who can blend the two and tell you exactly what needs to be done. I think that is where I value the association of both DRaS and Praghna Research Centre and also the Chennai Center for China Studies, because we have so many of our academicians who have been practitioners of the art. So they've been there, they've seen that, and they come out and they know what is it that needs to be taught to the young researchers who are out there. So, biggest contribution from the service veterans is to acquire this kind of an academic qualification and guide the young minds who at times are rudderless, who require those kind of foundations which are there. And having known Group Captain Srinivasan, I know he goes out of his way to fine-tune his entire capsules. We've done some of the joint programs with him, and I know the pains that he takes to devise a capsule and ensure that the best of the academic requirements and what is required for a young research are brought together. So I must personally compliment you, Group Captain Srinivasan, for the excellent work that you are doing, and also for the support that's coming your way from Commander Jayashankar, from Commander Deshmukh, Commander Duva, and many others who are here, who I am naming. I'm not naming here because of the time constraints. So, what is it that I can perhaps advise the researchers who are here? There can be no compromise. First, be very clear as to what is it that you want to engage in and why. Is it just for a need of a certificate? Then you are not doing the right thing. So please consider that it is not for the certificate, but it is for pursuing my genuine interest, which will hold me in good stead for years, whichever you take up. You could be a college professor, you could be a scientist, you could be an academician. But the fact that you've gone through this rigors of research methodology itself will hold you in good stead. It will allow you to understand the problems better. It will help you to analyze them with greater clarity of mind. And in addition, you will be able to take the right course of action when it comes to, giving the right kind of advice or this to your team, wherever you are. So this is where I find the usefulness. And I personally am very happy that there are more and more think tanks and research organizations which are coming together. They're not trying to do it in a standalone mode. They're coming together because they know that it is in synergy that we have our power to help these youngsters. So I personally would not like to take too much of time. This is an occasion definitely to celebrate the great moment of this anniversary. And I'm sure that there are plenty of decades of excellence ahead of you. We'll only be tweaking the program together, whether you're doing it with the DRaS or whether you're doing it with C3S or whether you're doing it with any other think tank. I have no doubts that the inputs which are given by the researchers who spent, different varying times, whether it is for a book review or whether it is for a monograph or for an occasional paper, they spend different time with you under different tutors. I would request them to give a feedback on how they see this program being more beneficial to them by processes of taking those inputs into our own calculations, tweaking the program, and offering something better year after year after year. I have no doubts that the entire scheme is in very capable hands, and I have no doubts whatsoever that the researchers who are going to come hereafter will gain from the inputs that have been provided by the present lot who are graduating. I would like to call that graduation today, and I have no doubts that they will carry back the memories of their own association with Praghna as well as DRaS, and will spread the word on what research methodology is all about and how these organizations do differently. There's no commercial angle. Whether it is Admiral Muralidharan or me or Commander Deshmukh or Group Captain Srinivasan, we do not have money in our mind. We don't look at money. We're doing it because we'd like to contribute to the comprehensive national power of research in national affairs. That I think that would be the guiding principle of how we engage together with other like-minded people. So let me again join others in extending my warm greetings on this anniversary, a very fitting occasion to celebrate, to take stock, and to move forward with renewed vigor, which I know is something that comes naturally to both Praghna Research Centre as well as DRaS, and of course the other wonderful academicians and naval officers, Air Force officers, Army officers who are here. I was happy to see Navy and Air Force in full strength. I am hoping that Group Captain Srinivasan will induct some Army officers too, so that we have some OG sense of academic research. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. That point is well taken. Yes, sir. We will integrate the services here also. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it is it is my absolute pleasure now to say that through the process of this 11 months, as Commander JK mentioned, our interns were able to write and publish 3 research papers, 1 book review, and 5 research articles. When I say articles, they are under 2,500 words, but all of them conform to what we call as the standard research methodology outline. And we have been intently involved with them through this process. So obviously, we wanted to test our own judgment. Like when we finally cleared their work for suitable for publication, we thought we will have our thought processes and procedures and our approach to research validated by eminent scholars. Okay. So we took the liberty of approaching Admiral Muralidharan, of course, and 2 eminent professors, Professor Alan John and Professor Jayachandra Reddy, to be the juries as independent people to assess the papers from the point of view of qualifying whether they qualify as good research outputs. Because our intention, as I said in the beginning, is to foster a spirit of scientific inquiry and produce good quality, substantial research. So we thought we will have ourselves tested. And I am glad to introduce Professor Alan first, who's a member of the jury. And he is also my teacher from my college days. And invite him to share his views as a jury, his assessment of the papers that he has gone through. He has gone through all of them, all the 3 of them have gone through all the research outputs. So to start with Professor Allen, he is an alumni of the Montfort School, Irkad, and Lilo College, Chennai, with a BA in Economics and MA in Social Work, specializing in Human Resources Management. He retired as faculty member and head of the PG Department of Social Work, Sacred Hearts College, Tirupattur, after 33 years as a distinguished academician. He is a member of academic bodies pan-India. He is also a corporate trainer and a motivational speaker. I was blessed to be his student. The fundamentals of HR that he taught and his guidance during my project work at Chennai with Royal Enfield, TVS, Carborundum Universal, and Indian Airlines, I gratefully acknowledge, were critical to the 33 years of my service in the Indian Air Force, because I belong to the administrative branch and therefore I'm an HR man. Professor Alan sir, personally, I'm grateful to you. Now the floor is yours for sharing your views on the research outputs.
Thank you. Thank you, Srinivasan. I think that's the greatest tribute that a former professor could get from his student. Congratulations to Praghna and DRaS for your first anniversary. And I must congratulate you on this wonderful effort of bringing all of us together on this forum, because as it was pointed out by Commodore Nair, the student research in India is on the downswing. And it's so encouraging to see so many young scholars interning with these two organizations and contributing to research. And as our Commodore Vaskan just mentioned, this group, EGSS and the two associations, are filled with defense staff. And in a way, I feel quite lonely because I count myself as the only social scientist here. But it's been a real experience and a wonderful learning trajectory for me, because Srinivasan will recall, and he's been one of our good students, I can vouch for that. In my early classes of psychology, we used to teach in development of psychology about the two curves which are important in social sciences. One is the growth curve, and the other one, the learning curve. The growth curve goes in a bell shape. It tapers off after some time, and with decline, it ends with death. But the learning curve is a straight line curve which shoots up straight into the sky, as it were. And it begins with our birth, where we learn what are the pangs of childbirth, and go on even on our deathbed to know what it is like when we take our last breath. And that way, when we are in an association like this, in this august organization, learning is continuing. Look at all of us on these screens, every one of us, especially Srinivasan, he's got even a silver beard, silver hair on the head. And in spite of that, in spite of all the years that we have put behind us, the learning still goes on. And when in the beginning, Srinivasan invited me to be part of this initiative, I was wondering what would be my role here, because we always teach in psychology again that man is a product of his environment. But now when you talk about the environment, the geopolitical environment in which we find ourselves, I think it makes more meaning now that every one of us out here in the street is affected by what's happening in the geopolitical scenario around us. A long time back, when I started my career in 1979, I had the option of going in to be a social worker, and on the other hand, being a teacher. And I think, again, if Srinivasan will remember, always in my first classes, I used to quote the great German philosopher Immanuel Kant, who said, "Those who can will do. Those who cannot will teach. Those who can will do. Those who cannot will teach." I think 33 years I could not, and therefore I thought. But now when I look back and see Srinivasan and through his influence, all of you getting involved in teaching all these young interns who are coming to us with a lot of hope and aspiration, I think then our mission in this world is fulfilled. Being a member of the jury of panelists, it was an honor to go through the number of articles that were submitted and the one book review. And honestly, I can state that I was amazed at the scholarly skills of our young interns, especially the quality of right from the choice of your title. The title conveys a lot of things, and your title conveys in a nutshell what the whole research paper is about. The flow of thought, the apt quotations, the citations, the review of literature, the flow of thought, the presentation, and most important, your summary at the end was of the highest order that I have ever seen. And that way, I like to congratulate the two organizations which were responsible for giving this initiative to young people. And I'm hopeful that in the years to come, we would have many more papers of this nature. And I would like to, at this time, I don't know, we were only just doing the assessment. And I'm sure the next thing that come will be the announcement of who were the real winners. But for the young interns who are here, I can see them all here on the screen, quite a few of them. Without the hope and admiration that you have of the life ahead of you, I'm sure that you are on the right track. Keep publishing, because knowledge doesn't end just with the degree that you get, but with what you are doing beyond that. And proof of that is all of us sitting here in this meeting today. So thank you very much for this opportunity of being here today. And congratulations, young interns, on the work that you have done. And I hope that you will continue to grow in the field which you have chosen. Thank you, and thank you, Srinivasan, for having me.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. You will always be an inspiration, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the next member of the jury, again, it's my privilege to introduce him and request him to share his views on the research outputs of our interns, is Professor G. Jayachandra Reddy. Professor Reddy was the Director and Chairman, Board of Studies of SV University, Tirupati. He is also the founder director of the UGC Center for Southeast Asian and Pacific Studies at the same university. He has published over 43 research papers and 16 books, besides participating in 63 national and international seminars. He was one of the members of ICWA delegation to Vietnam in 2017 and to Asia New Zealand Foundation Wellington in 2019. He is the editor-in-chief, Asia Pacific Journal of Social Sciences, and he is the editor of Area Studies, a journal, International Studies and Analysis. He served as the visiting research fellow at Manila University, and Research Institute for Oriental Cultures at Gakshun University in Japan. He is an awardee of the Australia-India Council Fellowship by Government of Australia. He served as at the Vietnamese Institute for Indian and Southwest Asian Studies, Hanoi, as a visiting fellow and visiting scholar of China Foreign Affairs University, Beijing. He was an awardee of Vietnam National Day Award in 2018 by the Embassy of Vietnam in New Delhi. And he is also an awardee of the Outstanding Faculty Award many times over, Venus by Venus International Foundation, Chennai also, and International Institute of Organized Research had confirmed Editorial Excellence Award in 2017 and Distinguished Researcher Award in 2018 on him. He is the founder secretary, International Society for Asia Pacific Studies and Association for Area Studies in India. Professor Reddy, sir, it's my privilege. The floor is yours.
Yeah, are you hearing to me?
Yes, sir.
Good evening to all of you. Thank you, Group Captain Srinivasan Garu, for your nice introduction. And I am overwhelmed to see first time the other friends may be surprising that Captain Srinivasan and myself, we are looking at each other, at least virtually. But we have been doing many things for a longer time. So this is the advantage of technology. So then coming to all the delegates and particularly officers from different cadres, Vice Admiral Muralidharan Garu, and I don't know the exact, other officers from different cadres, Sri Deshmukh Garu, Ashok Datta Garu, Alan John, and other, and my good senior friend, Vasan Garu. So, student friends, at the outset, once again, my sincere thanks and a lot of appreciation to Captain Srinivasan for his dedicated work after retirement. That is most important to remember. Of course, being a professor, retired professor, I know that it is the prime duty of a teacher who is working in the universities as a teacher who teaches and conducts lots of research. But being a officer from Air Force and engaging himself in academic and research activities, it is amazing for me. He used to tell some sort of, you are the source of inspiration. No, sir, you are source of inspiration for me even after my retirement. Sometimes if I think after my retirement what to do, then you are the only person who I recollect. Yes, there is a lot of scope to do. There is nothing to feel that retirement is something. It is a government procedure or service matters. Is one stage of service matters in the career. And moreover, it is more oriented with the financial commitment. Retirement is only financial discrepancies. Otherwise, nothing, there is no one to stop any one of us to work. For example, R.S. Vasanji has been working tremendously, very actively. We both participated in a number of conferences here and there throughout the country. And this was the background of working together. A great time what we have spent with Dr. Srinivasan, let me say Dr. Srinivasan. When he approached me in the beginning, I thought that because I have seen number of people who launched a journal or something, research initiatives, it was only a matter of 1 or 2 years, or launching inaugural session, inaugural issue. There ends the matter. That will be the first issue and last issue. Their vigor and enthusiasm, interest and a commitment, everything will be dried up within no time. But I never expected that Dr. Srinivasan will be sustaining this journal to the level of unexpected. For me personally, I never expected, sir. This within short time, after 5 years, it may be possible. After 5 years or 10 years, reaching a stage, that is not surprising. Go on putting some efforts, definitely there will be some improvement by different ways. But within 1 year, you have completed almost except one Scopus index. You are on the way. For the second anniversary, this journal will be indexed in the Scopus. It is my confidence, and on behalf of Dr. Srinivasan, I am promising all the dignitaries who participated and students. And now I took a decision. Instead of doing myself something, Dr. Srinivasan, I am completely, wholeheartedly, again, of course, we are working. I am offering my services at any time. I'll be one among your members of the jury, not even members of the activities. Yes, and establishing something and internship. This is very, very rare phenomena. I got surprised when he called me that, sir, you need to evaluate some papers, this. Some students, they wrote papers after out of the internship period, different kinds. Wow. There are many institutions which are established in the government, public and private, with lots of crores of funding support, men and material at their disposal. They are unable to offer internship single-handedly without support from financial support. Of course, he has a very good friendly circle who are all working, supporting him. That is amazing. That shows his credibility and dedication towards his fashion. That's why he is getting lots of support from his own friend circle. Yes, of course, definitely. Let us try our best to enter into MOUs. Now you have you have your own setup, an organization. Yes, now this organization is eligible to enter into MOUs with different national and international organizations. All this exposure for an institution which supports many people. If I expose myself, that will be something for me. Nothing will happen to my colleagues or to my family members. But whereas entering into MOUs, institution is opening up its activities and joining hands with different reputed institutions and scholars across the world. What else is expected to flourish? Yes, definitely. I promised Dr. Srinivasan, my first contribution is I want to give my official email ID password for him to get transfer all the database for his activities. I have 7,000 email IDs of different scholars across the world. Definitely, this will be open, and you both can access the same email for the same purpose. And after transferring the entire database, you can use from your own domain. That will have some credibility. Instead of working with some other institution, some elsewhere email ID, that may not be appropriate. So this is how it is growing. The day will come. Many ministers will join different conferences. Yes, I am not exaggerating. The spirit, based on, it is my confidence. As I said, Dr. Srinivasan and myself, we never met each other. We used to talk many times. We planned many things, but this is the first time how I am and how he is, we know each other. So this is fun of technology. Of course, sir, there is nothing to speak more. And my congratulations for all the prize winners. As a jury member, I feel some sort of guilty to see that the winners will be always happy. The runners and the other friends, dear friends and students, don't feel that it is losing or winners. It is not the winning for the entire career. This is only winning event, winning a particular event, one event. If you want to win again, and you have to put your own efforts again from the scratch. So the losers, they have lots of experience to win next time. So that's why, this is, moreover, you are all young guys. This is not the end of the career. This is only budding scholars. You have bright future and many more events that may come through Dr. Srinivasan and his team, which provides you many more opportunities. Take it as a challenge. You can win a number of competitions in the coming days and in the future. So thank you once again for all the scholars, officers, student friends, and my friends. Particularly my sincere thanks to Dr. Srinivasan and his family, because they are allowing him to spare this much of time. Otherwise, it could not be possible for Dr. Srinivasan to take up this Herculean task. Running a journal is not we can run a business of 1,000 crores. There is nothing. But running a scholarly journal is a difficult task. Personally, I know what are the difficulties. So that's why Dr. Srinivasan needs greater appreciation from the bottom of my heart. And I always, as I assured, I'll be with you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Then technically, it is your kingdom, but morally, it is ours. It is our responsibility to see that you should go to the greater heights. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for such a wonderful this thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I must now tell you that, yeah, okay, we have the next program. I don't want to take too much of time, but Professor Reddy has been so supportive that I consider him as a great source of inspiration. And for the future of this program, Professor Reddy has very kindly sent me books by him and other edited volumes in two copies so that it can be presented to interns who will do substantial work. Okay, so I request you to just give him a small, clap for recognition of his support.
It's nothing but sharing your responsibilities.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, we heard the juries and their opinion. Actually speaking, to be honest with all of you, it was actually validating our own thought process. Are we helping these young students to learn the correct footsteps towards producing substantial research material, whether it is full paper or whether it is a book review or whether it is a research article, proper format, everything that Professor Allen mentioned. So after having gone through this thing and the assessment of the jury, we have a pleasant task for which, of course, I will request Mrs. Chitra Srinivasan to do the honors. And that task is much more pleasant because we said we must not just conduct a program. See, a lot of institutions conduct programs. They give certificates. You may even end up producing a research work or whatever you write. But we thought by having them independently assessed by a jury and as a matter of appreciation and recognition for the work done by that particular intern, we must do something. What is it that we are going to do? That Mrs. Chitra Srinivasan will now tell you. Mrs. Chitra Srinivasan, the floor is yours.
My humble pranams to, I think, the echo is going. Sorry, some technical glitches. Anu Badraha Kratavo Yentu Vishwataha. Let all noble thoughts come to us from everywhere. This is Rigveda. At the outset, my humble pranams to all. Sorry. Okay. My humble pranams to all dignitaries, especially to our guest of honor, Admiral Muralidharan, Commodore Vasan, Commodore Deshmukh, Commander J.K. Nair, Dr. Ashok Dua, Dr. Reddy, Dr. Ellen, and all research scholars. It's my privilege to be here, and I sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank each and everyone for your presence, and especially for sharing so much of your valuable time in doing so much to make our little dream to come true today. Like after retirement, like we were thinking actually what should we do, but Dr. Srinivasan was very clear that that he didn't want to go for anything to go and work somewhere or to find something. He said, let us do something on our own. This thing started about, say, in 2007 and 8 when I was doing my MPhil research. Actually, I could see that there was so much to do about research, that it took 2 years of my time just to collect a few data and to go through the materials and to read and everything. So I was telling Shini, it is almost taking my entire energy to go through this. That, like, then I realized what is research. It is just not that you just go read a few things, collect some data from here and there, you try to write something. It is like, it is going through your entire system, where you become one with what you're doing. So that was something, and I was telling him that we have some of the best universities, we have some of the best faculties in the world, but why is it that we are still lagging behind when it comes to like assessing the colleges or universities in world level? So I was asking, then I realized it was not because for any other, not that we are not having the infrastructure or anything, it was because of our research, because we were not able to produce the research papers of such quality in the world level. So that is why we were not ranked among the first few universities in the world. So maybe this was the seed by which we used to discuss over. And of course, after Shini had done his doctorate through Pondicherry University, so then slowly these things started. And then he said, let us do something for these students. Let us help them, because nobody is going to tell us how to go about the research. Maybe we should have something like that. So this was a seed which took place, took seed, and today we are here. And it is 1 year. And I'm telling you sincerely, this is not a one-man show or a few people, friends, or some people. It is because of all the people that who are there, who are assembled here today. It is because of your sincere wishes, blessings, especially from our parents and from all near and dear ones. That is why this is possible. And coming to Dr. Srinivasan, and yes, of course, his full dedication is there. There's not a moment when he can spare, because I can understand he is there. Especially also, I want to thank everybody who is here today. And maybe if I'm not taking a few names, please bear with me. And yes, and then I just want to tell one thing to all of you, like especially the research scholars. You know, research is like an yajna you do. You collect all the data called samriddhi, which you're putting into the ahuti or to kindle the spirit of knowledge inside you. So we have to go systematically, and there are so many experts that are there, and I'm sure you'll be getting the best guidance. And now I think you are all waiting for the moment to announce the names. I know it's a very difficult task for me because I don't know why I was selected for this, but I have the privilege to announce the names of the winners. The first prize goes to Miss Rohini Saini for the best research paper.
Thank you, ma'am.
Congratulations, Rohini.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
So all the best, and we will expect more and more from you. Okay.
Yes, yeah,
And
sure, ma'am.
second one is, and it is Miss Ankita for best book review. Ankita, all the best. Congratulations from all of us, and we'll be expecting more and more reviews from you. And the third prize goes to Miss Satya Pulukuri for best research article. Satya, all the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I don't want to take much of all of your time. Thank you. And
Thank you very much.
all the best to all the winners.
As Professor Reddy said, it's not a question of winning or losing. Okay, it is just that please understand that all the research output that you guys and girls have put out have been seen by 3 eminent people: Admiral Muralidharan, Professor Allen, and Professor Reddy. Professor Reddy. And they have looked at it not from the point of view of your background. They don't know your background, incidentally. Okay, they have not looked at it from the point of view of your background, whether doing BA, BSc, MA, PhD, whatever you are doing. They have looked at it from the point of view of structure, scope, content, methodology, citations, the quality of citations. And it is based on that they have given their ratings, and that is how we have been able to pick up the best of the lot which have been presented. And between Commander Nair and me, we have decided that we will continue this tradition. Okay. When there is a substantial amount of material available, we will not only get them independently assessed, but we will also present the best rated papers, book reviews and articles with books, okay, which will be relevant to the area in which you are doing research, and therefore they will supplement your reading and help you further in your own work. With that intention only we announced, and I'll be failing in my duty. In fact, yeah, okay, I'll be failing in my duty if I don't mention one more aspect, that Commodore Deshmukh and Dr. Dua have been such a great source of inspiration and support that we thought it will be better that we show our gratitude to them by presenting them also with books. To Commodore Deshmukh and to Dr. Dua. Okay, so we will be dispatching all these books to the people. Please send us your this thing on the WhatsApp. Please send us your addresses. We will send it to you. And now I have the privilege of requesting the Admiral, okay, to do the honors of releasing the anthology of this research output that our interns have done. We have already published them in DRaS website. The research papers and book review have been published already in our journal also. But we thought it will be a good idea that we compile them again and bring them out in the form of a book. Okay, and we have titled it as Student Research Anthology, reflecting the core philosophy of DRaS and Praghna. We want you to grow. We want you to learn. We want you to do good research. We want you to grow. And this book will be available to everyone, all other students and scholars, as a reference material. And this will be, again, a continuous process. Now, may I request the Admiral to please do the honors of releasing the student anthology.
Thank you, Dr. Srinivasan. I have great pleasure in releasing this first volume. It's indeed a great compilation to go through, and I'm sure this will trigger further research from the young scholars. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In fact, being released by you is truly a privilege, and we are grateful to you, Commander Dua, Commander Deshmukh, me, and Commander Nair. We are eternally grateful to you, if I may say so. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, this book is not just a book. It is about 150 pages. Okay, it contains all the work done by all of you, and it's available. Okay, it's available. We have got it printed through various sources, and now we will be making it available to everyone also. In order to keep us going, you will appreciate that we need a little bit of, not much of money, but a little bit of money. So we thought we'll price this. Okay, for the interns, we have priced it at 150 rupees only. And for others, we have priced it at just 200 rupees. Okay, so anyone who wishes to procure can message me or send me this thing. I will have it sent to you with your address. Thank you so much. And
sir, let me know the account number or phone number to make phone pay.
I will.
I want to buy the first copy.
I will send, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, now it is only proper that I ask our mentors to share their views of the program. First, of course, I will invite uh, Commodore Deshmukh to please come on a line to share his views about this program and the experience of mentoring youngsters. For this, for the sake of introduction of Commodore Deshmukh, he is served in the Indian Navy for 32 years. His educational qualifications include BE Mechanical, MSc Defense Studies, PGDM, of which he got a gold medal, and he holds a qualification both in marine and aviation fields. He served on board ships and aircraft carriers. He is a specialist on the maintenance of fighter aircraft and anti-submarine warfare helicopters. He held many operational and administrative appointments, including that of Principal Director at Naval Headquarters. He was also the Commodore Superintendent of Naval Aircraft Yard. He was Director, Naval Institute of Aeronautical Technology, and Project Director of a major naval aviation project. He is an alumnus of the Defense Services Staff College, Wellington. Post-retirement from the Navy, he worked with the Tata Group for 5 years and is currently working with Sun Group's Aerospace and Defense Vertical at Gurgaon as Senior Vice President. He has presented papers at various international seminars and is a life member of the Aeronautical Society of India. He also works in the educational field in his spare time. He is an avid writer and writes on technical matters and issues of common interest apart from China and maritime studies, maritime affairs. His research papers and articles have been published by C3S, by DRaS, and of course by the journal. Commodore Deshmukh, sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for your kind words, sir. Admiral Muralidharan, the distinguished panelists, my colleagues as mentors, and last but not the least, the young minds who are present here. You are the reason that we are in this function. If you wouldn't have been there, this program wouldn't have been there. Now let me begin with quoting Patanjali Yoga Sutra 2.26, which says, Vivekya Khatiraha Vipla Hanopayaha. That means uninterrupted practice of discrimination between the real and unreal is the means to liberation and the cessation of ignorance. That is what is research all about. Taking away the ignorance, the darkness, and focusing the light onto the right facts and the right what matters for the nation. I still remember the day when Commander Nair spoke to me about this initiative, put up the idea, and right then and there, I committed that, Commander, whatever initiative is there, if I don't find my name into the names of the mentors of that group, then I can also take AK-47 and tell you what else I can do. It's my singular honor that I have been accepted. Speaking here is really a bit of a, I should say, a frightening experience for me, because two of my senior mentors, Commodore Vasan and Group Captain Srinivasan, are there. I myself must confess, wasn't aware much about the nuances of research. Yes, I used to write few things, present papers, but the literal nuances of a research, rigors of academic research, I have learned from Commodore Vasan and Group Captain Srinivasan, who have given their unstinted support to me. Actually, like a child is carried by a parent, I would grade them in that category, that they have brought me where I am today. I am quoting this because the young minds must know that the mentors are like the lighthouses who show you where to go safely, how to go. But at the end of it, captain of the ship has to navigate his own ship. If he goes and bangs on the lighthouse can't do anything about it. So it's all about the students who join this program, do their rigors of research and produce the quality articles and the papers which we find good for the publication in either EJSSS or DRaS. I must compliment Admiral Muralidharan for the light he focused on the kind of topics we need to really focus upon. I must admit that when we started, it was a bit of an experimentation for us because we were also getting into the rigors of mentoring the students. But as we progressed, we became more and more nuanced, and rather we became more strict on ensuring the quality. And I'm sure the mentees here will really tell you what hardship we have pushed them through. But we realized that was required to achieve the quality. And as Commander Nair put across, numbers was not our interest at all. It was the quality, quality, and quality. With that particular focus, we have reached here. The support which we got from Dr. Dua, Group Captain Srinivasan, and I must say, Chitra ma'am, it's my honor to have been given a chance to work with them and learn along with the mentees. It's a learning experience for me too. I am very happy that we have been able to stand the test, rather the proof of pudding, wherein we were judged by the eminent panelists like Admiral Muralidharan, Dr. Alan, and Dr. Jayachandra Reddy. Reddy sir, let me give you a big salute. When I started my journey on the China, the book which has been edited by you with an introduction and the fantastic chapters which are included in that book has helped me gaining a strong foundation in the China studies, including the Oriental history of China, where you take us to the Sina Patta, the Silk Pattas, etc. Thank you so very much, sir. It's a privilege for me to congratulate all the winners who have garnered the prizes. But as Dr. Reddy has put across, it's not end of the road for anybody. It's not winning or losing here. In reality, if you allow me to say so, we all are the winners in this forum. Otherwise, the first anniversary itself wouldn't have been there. My congratulations. And Muralidharan sir and the panelists, we give you an unstated commitment from all the mentors that we will put in more effort than what you have put across, and will ensure that the contemporary subjects which are relevant to the betterment of our country, its security, the blue economy will be focused more in the coming days, and will ensure that the better articles and the papers come through. My thanks once again to all of you for giving us this chance and being here. Jai Hind. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's my privilege to invite Commander Professor Dr. Ashok Dua. Dr. Dua is a naval veteran and an educationist. During his service of over 3 decades in the Indian Navy, he has held several key appointments, both afloat and ashore, including deputations abroad. He is an alumnus of the Defence Services Staff College, Wellington. After retirement from the Indian Navy, he served as Associate Professor at Krishna Institute of Engineering and Technology, Ghaziabad, for almost a decade. He obtained his PhD in the area of ethical leadership from Aligarh Muslim University, an accredited management teacher of IMA. He is also a fellow of the Institute of Engineers, then FIETE, then MIMA, and LMIST. He is a volunteer member of the Bal Vikas Bharati and helps inculcate universal human values among young and impressionable school children. He runs a blog also in which he aims to empower young minds. as a senior fellow of the Defense Research and Studies. He is associated with DRaS. He is also associated with this research writing program that we jointly have right from the day number one, and has been a great source of inspiration to me personally, okay, in streamlining and conducting this program for the objectives for which we have come together to do so. It is my privilege to invite Dr. Dua to share his thoughts.
Thank you, Group Captain Dr. Srinivasan, for your kind and encouraging words. Thank you so much. Admiral Muralidharan, Commodore Watson, Professor John, Professor Reddy, Mrs. Chitra Srinivasan, my fellow colleagues, Commodore Deshmukh, Group Captain Dr. Srinivasan, and Commander Nair, and my dear interns, ladies and gentlemen present online. DRaS Praghna internship program, as you all know, is completing 1 year, and we all are here to celebrate its first anniversary. On this occasion, my hearty congratulations and best wishes to both Defense Research and Studies and Praghna Centre for Research. May their collaboration towards this internship program continue to grow and develop from strength to strength in the coming years. I would also like to congratulate the award-winning interns, Rohini, Ankita, and Satya. You highly deserve the award bestowed on you. Well done. But I would also like to congratulate all the rest of the interns for having done the work which is of great quality. During the last 1 year, our interns have done remarkably well. A total of 9 research works, including 3 papers, 1 book review, and 5 articles have been published by either DRaS at their website or by Electronic Journal of Social and Strategic Studies, or both. The quality of the research works speaks for itself. And for us, the mentors, it has been a matter of pride and satisfaction to see our interns grow and develop. The inputs the interns have received during their research writing journey will keep them in good stead in the days to come. The internship program has taken a confident step in the direction of creating a culture of research in the areas of social and strategic studies. And encouraged by their research works, DRaS and Praghna together have brought out the first volume of Anthology of Students' Research, which has been released earlier today by the chief guest. Lastly, a word of advice for my young students, young interns. Always endeavor to lead a purpose-driven, value-based life, a life of meaning and dignity, a life that leads you to excellence and fulfillment, and a life that takes you to your highest potential. And this demands a lot. This demands a burning desire backed by discipline, diligence, determination, doggedness, dedication, and devotion to be the best. With these words, I would like to wish you, the budding researchers, all the very best for a purpose-driven life of meaning and dignity, full of quality research in future. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it will be only, I think, appropriate that, like we, the people who have been involved in driving this program, inventing this program have shared our, or even judging this program have shared our perspectives. I thought it would be more meaningful if our interns come forward and share their experience of going through this program. I would like to invite Rohini Saini to share her experience of going through this program and the learning value that she experienced. Rohini, the floor is yours.
Yes, sir. Good evening, respected dignitaries and my respected guides and my friends. Okay, actually, I'm on the road right now. So, okay, I'm in Mumbai actually. So, I'm on the roads. So, but still, I want to attend this program. So, I'm here now. Okay. Oh, okay. Myself, Rohini. I'm pursuing PhD from Pune University, and right now I'm working with Casper India also as a research fellow. Uh, okay. Now about this program, internship program. Okay. I want to give a background actually. When I actually 1 year back, I was thinking about writing paper, research paper, and I was talking to my friends, and I was telling them I want to write a paper, but I don't know how to approach somebody, and there was nobody to guide me, and I make a account on LinkedIn, and then I get to know about DRaS, Praghna internship, and I sent a resume to Biomed, and then I thought like I will not get a reply from them, but luckily I got a reply, and then I met three wonderful people, Srinivasan sir, Ashok Dua sir, and Deshmukh sir. And I had a lot of fears at that time because I have anxiety issues at that time. I had very low confidence, and I was really thinking like I don't know whether I will be able to write the paper. So I just casually tell them like I want to write on CPAC. So then they asked me like, what do you want to write about CPAC? I said like about implications on India. Then Srinivasan sir asked me further questions. Deshmukh sir asked me further questions. Then they helped me to crisp my ideas. Like what should I write about it? So with that, I started getting some confidence, and I started writing. And in between, I a lot of times I literally raised my hand like I give up. And I like there was a instance like I messaged Srinivasan sir like sir, I don't know why I'm feeling stuck now. I can't write now. Like a lot of things, like lot of things are going on in my mind, and so give me very simple advice like go for a walk, have a cup of coffee, and after that you start like summarizing those ideas. You'll be able to write it. So I follow the advice. In fact, all the advice they gave me, I follow it very um, like, properly, and in the end, the result was good. So I learned a lot of things from this program, like how to be analytical about any particular phenomena, any process, anything around going around us, and be a good observer. That is still I'm following this thing still now. I'm in Maharashtra, so I'm keenly observing the society, the caste system, the political system, and in fact I'm thinking to write a paper on like how the cooperative society's politics is defying the national political narratives. So apart from that, like how the caste politics playing the role in cooperative politics also. All these such things I have learned from this program only. And apart from that, I have learned how to be humble. Even if you learn a lot, even if you have achieved a lot, and that thing I've learned from you three people. And apart from that, I have seen like from every mentor I've learned different things. Like I've learned from Srinivasan sir the passion for research, the love for research. And from Deshmukh sir, I have learned discipline and commitment. From Ashok Dua sir, I learned the cleanness, like how to minutely observe the things, and the respect for life also. So it's like it really changed my personality. I was underconfident girl, and now I have a lot of self confidence, and I think I'll do good in my life because of this program, because it was a turning point for me, my life. So thank you all of you for giving me this opportunity, and I really feel lucky to be a part of this program. Thank you.
Thank you, Rohini. God bless.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Now, can I request Vikas Srivatsa to please share his thoughts?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I should be honest that I feel a bit overwhelmed trying to speak in front of such men of such stature, but I'll try to hold my nerve. I joined DRaS Praghna in the end of December. And at that time, although I recognized a passion for social sciences, I followed that passion by reading a lot of literature, diverse array of literature. But there was still an urge to want to pen down or write something that I could judge as being original and which could be judged as scientific. And I was in the process, I was very lost in trying to understand and comprehend how to write a research paper, in fact, writing comes after researching a topic, and I didn't even understand how to do that properly. And as I started, and I think Srinivasan sir can be a good judge of that. As I started, I was a directionless mess. I didn't have focus. My thoughts were scattered, and I was too distracted from my main topic of research. And I think the research internship, I think they helped me prioritize how to channel thoughts, what to read, what not to read, and how really to interpret text, and how to form a logical argument to make a case. And I think I'm very appreciative of that. Apart from that, the best thing about this internship was that basically they provided you with motivation and direction, but they never really told you what to do. And that kind of falls under your own domain. You have to decide how to internalize the suggestions and the advice that the guides give you, and try to come up with a new idea. And I'm really thankful for that. And when I look back at my paper, and I'm very thankful that my paper got published in the journal. And when I look back at that paper, I am very happy to recognize that I believe every word of that paper was written by me. And although there was a lot of advice and a lot of support given to me behind the stage, but in that paper, I am happy to see that I kind of added every word of that paper, and that means a lot to me. And I'm pleased to announce that my paper has been selected for an oral presentation at the 5th International Conference on Advanced Research on Social Sciences. And it was selected for an oral presentation at Cambridge, but due to some issues, I'll be presenting it virtually. And I just want to thank all the mentors and DRaS Praghna for introducing me to the process of research, and really convincing me that it doesn't matter where you fall in the hierarchy of academia and research. Like being a master's student and believing in the process, my paper was still found good enough for an international conference to accept, and that that's a big compliment that is one of the biggest compliment I can receive. And to end this, I would just like to thank all the mentors and everyone for your patience and for your suggestions, and for all the learning I could get. Thank you.
Thank you, Vikas. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll request you to just give him one simple round of applause after you hear what I'm going to say. The paper got published in the electronic journal, and the electronic journal doesn't publish papers written by our interns because we are conducting this internship program. It still goes through the mill of journals See, it goes for review, it goes for comments, everything. So after that, it got published. And after that publication, Vikas happened to find an opportunity for a conference. So he sent the abstract, and to his surprise, the abstract was accepted, and he was invited to London to present it in person. A conference which is being organized in conjunction with the Cambridge University, London. And because of various other factors like Corona and other travel related issues, he has been allowed to present it online through video mode on 28th or 29th of August. So one of the papers, which is a product of this internship program, is now getting presented in a program which is being organized jointly by the Cambridge University. And we are, as teachers, we are happy. All the teachers here will understand what I'm trying to convey. Thank you so much. God bless you, Vikas.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have already overshot the time, but I think a couple of minutes will be okay. In case there is someone who wants to ask one or two things, keep it simple, straight. Okay, maybe a couple of minutes. Otherwise, we will end with the vote of thanks. Anyone? Yeah, okay, you can. Yeah. So shall I go ahead with Deshmukh sir? Yes, okay, all right, okay. Yeah, even if you have something. So, all right. Okay. Yes, sir.
Sir, if you permit me, then
yes, sir, please.
May I ask a question to Dr. Reddy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
Sir, basically, I fully respect your in-depth knowledge on the China. Now, when there are so many things being said about China, the one thing which keeps rather starkly comes out that unless you understand the Chinese local language, you will never be able to understand what Chinese actually mean. Now, in this scenario, sir, what would be your advice to people like us who are the novices in the region and the limitations of the language? How do we go about our research to be more accurate so that we can help the think tanks and the recommendations in the forum, sir? I'll be grateful for a few words from you.
Sir, it is exactly, you have raised a valid point that it is very, very difficult. Even I was in Beijing, I was in different cities as part of my fieldwork. I tried my best out of 3 months to get a clue from students, from faculty, from good friends, and my sponsors. They never spelled single word. Yes, we have no other option. That was the only answer what I received from all the friends with whom I have interacted. So here, particularly, it is not necessarily what is happening in China. And it is open secret that we are facing some difficulties, some challenges with China. What China is doing, it is not our business. What we need to do to contain, to challenge, to meet the challenges of security or whatever it may be, economic aspects, everything. And at the same time, this is the high time for our government and diplomats to find alternatives in terms of economy. Now, what is happening? Russia is the best example. Out of economic sanctions, what is happening in Russia? Its defense capabilities are totally different aspect. It is unable to sustain the economy of the country, and which has lost the global market for its exports. Yes, that situation should not be, because Russia's weakness. It has been doing its good business, potential exports with its enemies. That is not right. We are also doing the same. We normally think that nothing will happen. These geopolitical equations are different from economic benefits. If a situation is smooth, everything is give and take approach, nothing will happen. Win-win situation. If it is a challenge between two countries or between two groups, if we want to take, for instance, absolutely rejecting Russia and China friendship, we want to join the US, then definitely there
Dr. Smith, I think we have lost a link with him.
Perhaps the connectivities. Yes.
I think so. Then you may proceed.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I think Professor Reddy's network is probably down. All good things have to come to an end. I suppose the program also has to come to an end. But I must place on record our gratitude first.
Sorry, sir. I
Yes,
lost
yes, sir.
because of power failure.
Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Let me complete a very short way, and it is necessary. It is the experience of Russia. It is known. There is no any diplomacy that India China never becomes friends. They never become friends. They are known enemies, moving like close friends. But that is good. But long term, it requires to have an alternative global market, whatever we need. For defense, it is known thing. We have our own arrangements. For security, in terms of security, you may be knowing better than me. But dependency for our exports, our international trade is dominated. China and India trade is dominating. Yes, the majority. There are many people, common man is saying that don't buy Chinese goods. Yes, and many people, they are denying to buy any goods of China. Out of that, there are a lot of imports from China. And there is a lot of deficit of trade with China. So under these circumstances, this is the high time for diplomats and practitioners and government people to look into seriously to find alternative permanent global trade avenues. There is the only one a particular arrangement is required for India in its foreign policy. Otherwise, everything is perfect. Thank you, sir. I think Deshmukhji, you received my point. I think I tried my best to reply.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor Reddy, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, now, as I was mentioning, all good things have to come to an end. So this program also has. I would like to personally and collectively, on behalf of DRaS and on behalf of Praghna, place the first note of gratitude to Admiral Muralidharan. The Admiral has been, if I may take the privilege of saying, sir, that the Admiral has always been there with us. I mean, like I'm sorry to, I'm putting it in a very colloquial way, please don't mind. He has even given me the privilege of just asking him by message That is his graciousness. That is his graciousness. He's an outstanding scholar. I need not, tell you, particularly on India-Pacific domain. And very rightly, he has given us the direction that we must delve into that particular area through encouraging our interns to take up topics which are associated. I assure you, sir, we will do it definitely. And of course, we will take the liberty of pinging your thoughts on each of the papers that comes up. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Admiral Muralidharan, sir. We are very grateful to you. And yes, this program itself would not have been possible if I don't thank Professor Reddy and Professor Allen. Because as independent juries, they have gone through the material produced by our interns with, shall I say, a microscope, with their vast academic experience, and they have given us such a encouraging assessment, which gives us the confidence that this program is on the right track. More than being just jury members, thank you for reinforcing our confidence, sir, Professor Reddy, sir, and Professor Allen, sir. Thank you so much. And of course, to my team of mentors, to Commander Deshmukh and to Commander, we call him Dr. Dua. So he's Dr. Dua. Okay. So to Dr. Ashok Dua, I am personally and eternally indebted to both of you, because you are the pillars on which this program runs. You are independent, you are critical, and of course you are encouraging. Thank you so much for your support. Okay. To Commander JK is like a younger brother to me, actually. I keep telling him all kinds of things. Okay, but JK is so responsive and he's so quick, actually. He should have been in the Air Force, not in the Navy. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, sir. There's no bias. Okay. I picked something at Mach 3, he flies at Mach 5. Because it's not correct, actually. A naval man outdoes an Air Force man, but JK is my right arm, and I owe him a deep sense of gratitude for the implicit support and encouragement for this program. Two, of course, Mrs. Chitra Srinivasan, I do owe a great this thing of gratitude, because without her, I cannot be sitting here. Okay. She is the source of encouragement. She has been a teacher for 24 years. Okay. And all her students have done exceptionally well. Everyone who has got lectures from her have gone up. Some of them are with NASA, some of them are with God only knows wherever they are. There's only one student who never learned from her. That's me. Okay. So yeah, I'll try, sir. I promise I try. Okay, sir. And of course, I'm grateful to her for being with us. But then what is this program? I'm saying thank you to everyone. Okay. The real heroes of this program are these young students, okay, who are interning with us. Okay. If I may take the liberty of saying that the admirals, the commodores, the mentors, and the juries and everyone, all of us have got a meaning only when the students are there. And these young interns, okay, like Rohini said, yes, they came, like Vikas also said, I'm sure Satya would like to say so. Okay, every one of them will say so. They came with a lot of confusion in their mind, not that we are very clear about everything. The three of us will never say that we are clear about everything. But what we are very clear is about the structure and method through which we have to walk these people through. The thought is theirs, the subject is theirs, the area is theirs, the quest is theirs, the award is theirs, the recognition is theirs. We are happy to be like giving us, the binoculars or magnifying glass or a walking stick, whatever comparison you want to put. And we are happy to be that way. And today, we actually fondly recollect our teachers, how much they must have struggled with people like us. So today we understand what it is to be a teacher. So we do thank all the teachers also. But to the young students, I have one final word. Between Commander Nair and me, we have decided that once a youngster becomes part of this program, he remains part of this program forever. We want you to keep surfacing on our Saturday meetings. We want you to keep pinging us with your new ideas. We want you to grow. We have a selfish motive also. When you do that, we get an opportunity to grow. We get new ideas. We see new points. Okay, and we get to debate them. So you are welcome to be part of this and grow. Make yourself proud. Okay. Be independent, be scientific, be unbiased, be unemotional in your research and grow. With that words, I thank Commodore Vasan. Commodore Vasan, sir, I hope you reached home. Yeah.
I reached home and I'm here very much.
Yes, sir, thank you so much. Commodore Vasan, as he mentioned, me and Commodore Vasan, we exchanged too much of notes actually, and I am grateful to him for giving me opportunity to interact with the interns of C3S. He has actually asked me, and I have already conducted workshops on research methodology for his interns. We would like to do it for all other think tanks and institutions. Okay, also, because through him, there's one lesson which I learned, that you have to give your knowledge, you have to distribute. Okay, and that is the only way to grow. Okay, the person who receives, he grows. The person who gives also grows. Okay, so thank you, Vasan sir, okay, for the opportunities that you provide us. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasant evening. If I have missed out anyone, my gratitude to them also for being part of this program. And we wish you a very pleasant evening and a great going forward in your research.
Sir, you have to give me 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
Everyone must end good thing on a very lighter and with good laughter. Let me prove it is naval officer who has the last word. You can have Commander Nair absolutely with Mach 5. But remember, good naval officers like Admiral Muralidharan do what is required tomorrow, yesterday. Thank you very much.
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. Thank you very much. Sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you.
There is one small request to you to recite that Rigveda mantra. Ma'am, please.
Yes.
Sir?
If I may, with your kind permission, please. Ano Bhadraha Kratavo Yantu Vishwataha. Shall I repeat once again? Ano Bhadraha Kratavo Yantu Vishwataha. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is from the Rigveda, which says, let knowledge come to us from all directions. It's a simple, plain English meaning is, let knowledge come to us from all directions. With that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Chitra
you.
madam.
Thank you, Srini.
All the
Very
best.
Chitra, and thank you,
Thank you.
Dr.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
for
All the
explaining
best.
meaning. Thank you and congratulations.
Have a